everyone. So today it's have you ever told your story and it felt like you're reliving it all over again? And when that happens, what happens to your nervous system and to your body? I'm Darlene Turner from Victim to Victory, and this is Miss Chrissy D with PNK Files, and together we're the perspective.
Morning, everyone.
So we're gonna.
So I know last week we talked a little bit about my story, what I went through, the PNK files, which is your emergency kit for life, which I wished I had had before my traumatic events happened. After I told my story on the show, the strangest thing happened, and it has happened to me before, and I didn't know. All of a sudden, I had this huge rush of pounding, like the blood in the back of my head. It was so painful. I was getting a headache. My eyes felt like they were going to pop out of my head. And I actually had to lay down on the couch, and I didn't move for the rest of the day. Then I had to get up and go to work the next day. And I work with people with trauma, addiction, mental health, homelessness. I need to show up with a lot of energy and empathy. And I was absolutely exhausted. And I don't know why.
Well, first of all, Miss Chrissy D, I'd like to just acknowledge you for sharing your story and thank you, because, you know, that must have been so devastating and so hard for you and traumatizing from having everything being swept out underneath your feet. So I just really want to acknowledge you for the strength and the courage it must have been to come from that place to where you're at now. Let's just talk about what happened within your body there that day. So when we have a traumatic experience or something that's shocking, it's like almost everything stops and freezes in time, and our mind and our body takes a snapshot of that moment, and everything that happened within that moment, what sound, what smell, what everything is recorded within our mind. And the other thing of it, what happens is almost like a piece of us gets frozen there, because the body's just not able to process the experience or the emotions. So we get a little piece of us frozen there. So I can give you a little example. It's like sort of, if you remember records or CDs and you have a little scratch, and that's sort of that experience. And when we come around in our loop of our life and we hit that scratch or that glitch, it skips or it'll repeat and it'll repeat and it'll repeat. So it's like our body and our nervous system shorts out in that experience. So I just want to check my notes where I'm going here. So when you tell your story over and over again, the nervous system doesn't know that you aren't there all over again. Or even if it's a sound or a smell or a situation, like I said, the nervous system and the body takes a snapshot in that moment. So when something, like I say, sound, person, or retelling our story, then that triggers the nervous system and it reacts as if it was there all over again.
Wow.
And then when just little tiny piece there is that then the chemistry is all released within our body, and we're in full on fight or flight once again.
Yeah.
Does that resonate?
Absolutely, it does. That makes a lot of sense. And I do find when I get stuck in my story, that's when I get to this place of, I can't believe this has happened. And I try and figure it out. And I'm that record that is skipping. I get stuck. I don't have energy. I get anxiety. I don't sleep. So what are things we can do? What are some of the things we can do about that to alleviate that?
Well, first thing is just like not let this experience define who you are, because it's an experience we had, but it's not who we are, right? And how do we, from that experience, look at it a new way so that we can create our hero story out of it and take back that power and reclaim that piece of us that was lost when that experience happened. So one of the first things that can happen is that when you relook at your experience, maybe you gained more courage or more strength or perseverance, or maybe it's looking for more meaning in your life or a better relationship or a better whatever it is. Somehow that this, you ever hear the expression, when one door shuts, another door opens? So when we have this experience, it's really taking us out of that rut of our life and that place that we're sort of stuck in, and shaking us up enough that we can get into a new a new frame of mind or a new perspective or a new life or a new vision for ourselves. So yeah, so the tips are, first one is to do a review of your experience and kind of look at it, like I said, with that new perspective. How can you create your hero story out of it? For me, like I said, I was in abusive relationships and for 27 years, and in that victim program of this happened to me. This is, I could have wore that label of a battered woman, like that. A lot of women sometimes come out of those experiences, but I looked at it. I healed myself enough. What I needed to do was look at my own value and find, not define who I am by how somebody treats me or how they think of me. And once I found that value, then I started to be able to create my own hero story out of it and turn it around into my victory. And from there, I now help women that have been through abuse refine their hero story and claim their victory as well, and overcome their fear. So that's one way for you to be able to turn that experience around. And then the second one is to start creating your new stories. So, what do you want in life? Where do you want to go? If you had a magic wand and you could wave it and create anything in your life, what would that look like? And, sit with that and think about that in your imagination. Because as kids, our imagination is shut down at a really young age. And, it's like, get real here, and we need to work, we need to do this and this, and then, like I said, when I was in those abusive relationships, you're just so busy surviving. It's like, dream, what does that mean, right? So that's a big part of it, is reactivating that imagination and looking at, what do you want to dream, how do you want your life to look at, because you have this experience that has changed your life, and you have these wonderful new attributes or virtues from this experience. And so now you can go forward and find that value within your own self and create your new story. And then my third tip is about, so you told your story, or so you had a sound or a situation that was triggered, and you're in your overwhelm, like you mentioned, Miss Chrissy D, there, about how you had full on headache and it took you out for a day and a half, really, right? So there's there's a tapping therapy that helps reset your meridians, and these meridians kind of run through your body. And I'll just explain a little bit about what meridians. There are circuits through our body and run the lines through, and the electricity and the messages that run through. So there's a meridian for your kidneys and gallbladder and lungs, heart, all of that, as well as there's the wiring within our brains. So when this happens, they can get short circuit, and we can, like I said, we talked about that glitch, right? So there's a simple way to sort of hit reset, and that's tapping. Would you like to learn how to tap, Chris?
Yes, yes. Show us how to do it. This sounds awesome.
All right. Well, when we're like, so okay, we had something that triggered us, and our hearts are thundering and our heads are pounding. So what we do is we can start tapping on our, right above our eyes here. Yeah. And you can create your own statement that feels good for you. But I will just say right now, just for an easy one, is I'm safe. I'm safe. And just tap on that. I'm safe. I got this. And just, and then we're going to change those tappings to the side of your eyes. Tap here. I'm safe. I got this. And tap on the side of your eyes. And then we're going to go underneath your eyes. I'm safe. I got this. And tap there. And we bring it down to underneath your nose here. I'm safe. I got this. I'm safe. I got this. And then under your lip, I'm safe. I got this. I'm safe. I got this. And then down on your collarbones, I'm safe. I got this. I'm safe. I got this. And there's a few more spots you can even do like a chop with your hand. So on your hand, you could just do as a real quick, just if you're in somewhere that you can't exactly stand there and tap yourself, you can just tap your like a karate chop on the palm of your hand. You can do that to help reset. I'm safe. I got this. I'm safe. I got this. And that's going to help reset the nervous system and rewire the brain really. And yeah.
That
So
that sounds awesome. That actually feels really good. Even just trying that felt quite relaxing. And I love your other tips about recreating your story. When I went through my trauma, yeah, I lost my family. I lost my home. I lost my money. I lost my investments. I lost my retirement. And I took it as, that's it. It's over. And now I come from a place of, I am not going to let this define me. I'm not going to let one person and a small group of people and their actions define the rest of my life. I'm not going to. Their energy towards me and what they want to think and believe about me is not who I am. It's not who I want to be. And this experience is not going to make me that person. I realized through it all, some of the lessons I got was, even though I was a really strong person, I didn't have any boundaries because I didn't think I was worthy enough. I didn't think enough of myself to allow myself to put boundaries in place. So that's something that I do now. And although it's hard and it's really uncomfortable, I put boundaries in place. I put an intention behind it. So I'm always coming from the right place. And it's amazing how much it relieves the anxiety and the anxiousness that goes through me. And it gives me hope and faith that there is more. It's not just over. I just have to learn these things and correct it. And as far as my family goes, we all know family history repeats itself generation after generation. And I come from broken. So that's what I knew. Now I feel like I've been knocked down to the dirt. So now that gives our family a chance to rebuild strong and healthy right from the ground up. And that's my intention and my hope to do that. Recreate the story.
I love that. That is perfect because it's so true. And I love that you mentioned what do we have to base on when we're treated as children if we have abuse or just sort of put down all the way through. You know, that's how our basis of how we show up in life. So I love that you're recreating your story and it's starting to transform your whole life. Yeah.
Okay.
You're welcome. So let's just do a quick review here because we want to keep it short and sweet for you. So the first one is really doing a review and looking at your experience from a new light, from a new perspective, and how it is, like Chrissy shared with her, how it's changed and transformed your life, what gifts did it give you? How did it make you stronger, more courage, more perseverance? And then the second tip was to start creating your news story and using your imagination, like anything is possible. And the third one is using those tapping techniques that I shared with you to and creating a positive statement or something that's going to bring calm and reset that brain that's already been triggered in the nervous system. And one last thing I wanted to mention is when you have severe trauma, like I said, the body can't process it in that moment. So a lot of times it gets stuck in the body as pain, stuck emotions, and chronic pain actually shows up. So I recommend actually finding a practitioner, somebody like me that has, those gifts to help release that trauma from the body and work through that experience so that you can get past it and start finding that hero story in that place of empowerment from it so that you're not feeling like that victim of this happened and that's it, I'm done for life. You don't want that to define
Yeah,
who you are.
right. Thank you, Darlene. Those are great tips. I actually can't wait to practice this week, the tapping. I'm sure I'm going to be doing it a lot at the office. Everybody's going to be looking at me, wondering what I'm doing all day. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Every Sunday, we're going to be here at 10 o'clock and we'll have new tips for you. So come and join us for the new perspective on trauma, abuse, chronic pain, and the steps to a healthy and thriving life. See you next week.
See you next week. Thanks, everyone.